Day 23, Psalm 23, 4. Prepare. Some days when you read Scripture, you see no special insights, and it leaves you dry. Another time, that very same passage might shake your world. It all depends on whether the eyes of your heart are open. The marvelous, life-changing truths are always there, but some days we're blind to them, and other days we can see. Pray that today would be a day you can see. Psalm 119:18. Open my eyes, that I may see wonderful things in your law. Your deepest desire. Anxiety is emotional energy. One of the purposes of anxiety is to give us the energy we need to pray hard about something important. What is the most compelling anxiety in your heart today? Use that energy to cry out to God. Meditate. The first 3 verses of Psalm 23 are serene and beautiful. You're lying down in green pastures and are refreshed by restful, quiet waters. You're guided along by your loving shepherd. But in verse 4, things get dark. Even when I go through the darkest valley. What would count as a dark valley in your life? Of all the troubles or disappointments or losses of this life, which ones are the most frightening to you? Given all the promises of comfort and rest in the first 3 verses, how is verse 4 even possible? Why would a good shepherd lead his sheep through a dark valley? One of the ways we resemble sheep is in our fear of change. When sheep are in a nice pasture, they want to stay there, even after the grass is all eaten. The shepherd knows the sheep need a new pasture, and to get there he sometimes has to take them through some dark, rough country. How does this apply in your life? There's another change that happens in verse 4. Notice how David refers to God in the first 3 verses compared to the way he addresses him in verse 4. Verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd, there's nothing I lack. He lets me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He renews my life. He leads me along the right paths for his name's sake. And then verse 4, even when I go through the darkest valley, I will fear no danger, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. He goes from talking about God to talking to God. When the darkness comes, David moves from theology to prayer. Could it be that there is darkness in your life or looming on the horizon that God has sent for the purpose of driving you to earnest prayer? In verse 6, he's back to talking about God. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. He drifts back and forth between theology and prayer. What do you learn from this psalm about why both are important? What are the dangers of too much theology without prayer? Or, on the other side, what are the dangers of praying to God without thinking much about what God is like? When David faced the dark valley, what was his hope? Was it optimism, just assuming everything will turn out okay? No. No, the dark valley is the place where your worst fears come to pass. That's what the valley is. Did he overcome fear by believing in himself or counting on friends or family or insurance? No. Verse 4, even when I go through the darkest valley, I will fear no danger, for you are with me. He doesn't say, I will fear no danger, for you will get me out of this valley. Nor does he say, I won't be afraid because my shepherd puts a hedge of protection around me. What is it that takes away his fear? You are with me. Are there any 4 sweeter words in the Bible than these? Second Timothy 4:16 says, at my first defense, no one came to my support, but everyone deserted me. But the Lord stood at my side and gave me strength. When you face trouble, do you seek comfort from finding relief or various earthly comforts? Or do you seek it mainly from the Lord standing by your side and putting his hand on your shoulder? When your worst nightmares come true, do you demand answers? Why did this happen? Or is it enough for you to know that the one who knows the answers is by your side? Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. David took comfort in the implements his shepherd used. What are the implements of God's shepherding in your life? Pray for others. Pray for your church. Think of all the various programs and ministries. Pray that God would use all of them to accomplish the goal of bringing more and more people to become God's sheep. And that the ones who already have a shepherd-sheep kind of relationship with God would find comfort in the nearness of God in the dark valley. Of all the ministries you thought of, which one is nearest to your heart? Ask God to bless that ministry and make it flourish in fruitfulness. Pray for your church what Paul prayed for the Philippian church in Philippians 9, 1 through 11. Ask that the people's love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that they may be able to discern what is best and may be pure and blameless until the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God. Pray the same for anyone else the Lord has laid on your heart today. Thanksgiving. What are the last 10 blessings God graciously gave you the ability to enjoy? Relive them one at a time. As joy arises, respond to God in gratitude. Begin with the first one. Now the second. Now the third. Now the fourth. Now the fifth. Now the sixth. Now the seventh. Now the eighth. Now the ninth. And the 10th. Take it with you. Pick one thought from this meditation that you want to carry with you. What can you use as memory cues in the upcoming day to help you bring that thought to mind at least twice more today?